Hello everyone, good evening. This is Dr. Rao. I was conducting my retreat today and yesterday, and I talked about this energy conservation in this modern age when we feel so tired without being ill, right? In this modern world, exhaustion has become the norm rather than the exception. I'm talking about the entrepreneurs, workers, and professionals, company, whatever. See, this fatigue often exists without any diagnosable illness. You go to doctor, they check everything and say, um, really, there's no illness. But then understanding where our energy goes, how to reclaim it is begins with a shift in awareness. See, this topic I put in a LinkedIn article. I put it in the Noom Vibe profile also. If you want, you can go and check it on my LinkedIn, or you can go and subscribe to my newsletter. Then you'll get intimated with whatever I'm doing. Okay, so this shift in awareness invites you to discover the subtle leaks draining your vitality and learn practices or ways to restore your natural energy through mindful living. That's the key, being aware. Okay. So there's a modern paradox going on. See, walk into any workplace, any coffee shop, any gathering of people today, and you will hear the same refrain, I'm so tired, right? Yet medical tests often reveal nothing wrong with them. Blood work comes out back normal, and physical exams show no red flags. By all clinical measures, we appear healthy but tired, right? So this creates a confusing disconnect. We feel depressed, heavy, and exhausted, yet we are told we are fine. See, this paradox deepens despite having more conveniences, time saving devices, and tech advances than ever before in the human history. We have so many things, advances and conveniences and all. We feel more drained than previous generations who worked harder physically. See, the answer lies not in what is broken in our bodies, but in how we are living our daily lives. See, most people today are not ill in the traditional sense, yet they are profoundly, chronically exhausted. This is not a medical problem requiring medication, it is an awareness problem requiring attention. Okay? So, what would be the wrong question is how do I get more energy? So, this is the question we habitually ask. We reach for another cup of coffee, we buy supplements promising vitality, we search for the perfect morning routine, optimal diet, the best exercise program, always looking outside of us. Not that they are wrong to do it, but they themselves are not sufficient, right? See, we approach energy like a resource we need to acquire from outside ourselves. We treat it as something to be added, purchased, consumed, or manufactured. This mindset sends us on an endless quest for external solutions to an internal imbalance. I call that internal imbalance. See, why we try certain solutions like energy drinks and excessive coffee, and the caffeine is not good for you in the long run, right? We know that. And then expensive supplements. People buy a lot of supplements thinking that they will give them the energy. And then there are diets, many, many extreme diets. And also exercise programs also can be extreme. And then they have these weekend recovery attempts. They go swim, they go all those things, They may feel good at the time, but later on the exhaustion sets in. And then vacation also, people take in the view of, oh, I will revive myself. Sometimes you do, sometimes you not. It's actually temporary escape. So why don't work in the long term is these approaches may provide temporary boosts of energy, but they don't address the fundamental issue. So they're like trying get a water in a bucket, lot of holes in it. You can keep pouring water into the bucket, but it continues to leak out. So the solution is not to pour faster; it is to patch the holes. That's what I'm going to address here. What are the certain things that you could do? Okay. What if we ask a different question entirely? Instead of constantly seeking to add more energy, what if we examine where our existing energy is going? Right? I don't think many people pay attention to that. Okay. So it's kind of a shift in perspective. Where is my energy leaking today? Not through the illness, because I'm not ill, but through being unconscious about whatever I'm doing. I think you can relate to that. A lot of people are like that. Okay. So this question changes everything. It recognizes that we already possess the energy we need to really do stuff. We are born with it, actually. You look at the children, how they demonstrate this natural vitality, effortless bundle of energy, right? They don't need energy drinks or motivational seminars or just to play and explore and engage fully with life. They do it spontaneously, effortlessly. We lost that. The issue is not that we lack energy. The issue is that we are unconsciously spending it in ways that don't really serve us. Unconsciously, we are investing our precious life and the force that comes with it in mental patterns that are not needed, physical tensions, and also behavior habits. They kind of go to each other, right? Basically, these habits drain rather than sustain us. So when we really become aware of these patterns, we can make different choices. The issue is, are we aware of it or are we not? Okay. So I would state something here. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. You cannot change what you cannot see. I will repeat again. Awareness is the first step toward transformation. You cannot change what you cannot see. Okay? So these energy leaks are subtle. They don't announce themselves with fanfare, right? They don't show up on medical tests or reveal themselves in obvious ways. They operate in the background of our daily experience, so familiar that we rarely notice them. Unlike acute illnesses or injuries that demand your attention, these leaks are quiet. They whisper rather than shout. Daily, they happen in routine movements and then invisible. They hide in plain sight. Okay? So check with whatever I talk about. Take the morning. Do you check the phone upon waking and then engage in the all sorts of thought networks? Or you rushing through the breakfast? You are eating very hurriedly rather than sitting down and munching it and enjoying the savor for 15 minutes. You think you don't have the time. Okay? And then you shallow breathing as though it is a natural thing. And especially when you're traveling by yourself during the commute, you don't pay attention to the breathing and make it deeper. No. And then when you go to the office, you go to the midday for lunch, you are eating lunch while working. Okay, somebody brings you a sandwich or something. and you are working, you are on the computer, and then you are eating. No, you have to give it a special time. And then also, do you hold a lot of tension in your body? Shoulders, neck, back, all those. And also, one of the chief now depleter is saying yes when you mean no. You don't want to do it, but then people come and ask you some things, and then you say, okay, I will do it, even though it is going to be a burden on you. That's the energy depletion. Okay. And then in the afternoon, you may have, you know, fasting slump around 3 o'clock. Okay. And you're fighting with that slump of sugar. And also, during the day, you are doing multitasking without presence. Half attention or no attention to something, but just doing them all together. That's the chief depleter of energy. And then, suppose you feel certain way, you say, I'm in the public, I should not be expressing my emotions, so let me suppress them, right? And then in the evening, you still scrolling through the screens before bed, and they're also worrying about tomorrow and sleeping poorly due to this mental noise of the past or the future. So these subtle patterns from I told you from morning till midday, afternoon, evening, these patterns compound over days, weeks, and years. So each individual leak may seem insignificant, but collectively, all these mental patterns and habits they create the chronic exhaustion so many experience. They neglect them and they don't pay attention. See, once we see them clearly, we can begin to address them. Don't have to blame ourselves, just we are getting used to it. So let me list out like a five common energy leaks. So let us examine most prevalent ways we unconsciously drain our vitality, our vital energy. So if you can recognize these patterns in your own life, that is the first step toward conservation and restoration of energy. Listen to me. Listen me out. Unconscious eating. How common that is. Eating while distracted, working, watching screens, or rushing, working, and then eating at the same time. And that prevents proper digestion and satisfaction. You don't have the satisfaction of eating some good food, savoring the taste or not. See that the body expends tremendous energy trying to process food consumed in a stressed state. That's the important thing. Don't consume food in a stressful state. See, mindless eating also leads to consuming more because you are not aware how much you're gulping, more than we need, creating a lot of additional digestive burden. So, eating in front of the screens, not chewing thoroughly, ignoring hunger and fullness cues, and also using food to manage emotions. All these are drainage of your energy. Okay. Number two, you are doing a lot of work that may not mean anything for you because you are required to do according to your, coordinator or boss or manager, whoever. You are doing a lot of work. There is also excessive work, but without joy. So work long hours isn't inherently draining. Working without presence, that's the one. Working not only with the presence or purpose or pleasure, that is really draining. So when we approach these tasks with resentment, pressure, or pure obligation, we burn through the energy rapidly. Observe that you will find that out. The same task done with engagement and care can actually be energizing. See? So, this chronic overwork without rest, people are doing that because they think that's important to see if there's a job or get promotion, whatever. And then you are resenting, but you're doing a lot of tasks that you deeply resent. And then you want to be perfect. Perfectionism and self criticism, all these things are also negatively draining your energy. And the lack of meaningful breaks. Just taking the break and going and taking the cigarette, it may be okay for you at the time, but it's going to harm you in the long run. But if you take a meaningful break where it is your deep breathing, you're focusing, and you are really uh, eliminating all the negative thoughts you had thus far, that will. And then, number one, I told you about is unconscious eating. Number two is working without joy. It could be excessive and whatever. And then shallow breathing. You think that is natural. That is how I could be getting a lot of energy. But most adults breathe shallow, using only the upper chest. So this keeps the nervous system in a low grade stress state and prevents full oxygenation of tissues. But if you have deep diaphragmatic breathing, which everybody knows is one of the fastest ways to restore energy, yet we rarely do it on a ongoing continuous basis. So chest breathing instead of belly breathing. Okay, that is what a shallow people will do that. And then holding the breath during stress. Suppose you're anxious, you're kind of worried, then you kind of tend to hold that. And then never taking conscious deep breaths. I do that all the time, and I advise people to do that all the time. Maybe in the morning, in the evening, formally, and also every 1 hour, 1 minute. Okay, so most of the people never take conscious deep breaths. I want you to understand. And then you have a poor posture that also restricts your breath. So this is a shallow breathing phenomena. And the solution is deep breathing. Okay. Sit up straight and deep breathe. And then the fourth one is excessive mental activity. See, when the mind, when unchecked, and you leave it like that, it runs constantly, planning, worrying, replaying, judging, all these things. This mental chatter consumes enormous energy. And negative thoughts, their patterns, rumination on the negativity, and also chronic anxiety about what may come are particularly draining, creating stress responses that tax the entire system. Constant mental commentary, ruminating on past events that are already done, have no consequences, and anxiously further projecting, and harsh self judgment. That is there too, with all this mental activity patterns. Don't do that. And then the fifth one I'm going to give you the tip is about resistance to life. Instead of doing what is available to us, we kind of resist what is. Okay? Fighting what is, resisting people, circumstances, or our own emotions. This creates immense internal friction. This resistance to what is manifests as tension, frustration, and depletion. So, acceptance doesn't mean passivity. That is bad too. It means working with reality rather than exhausting ourselves fighting it. Or ask, instead of handling what is in front of us, we want it to be this way and that way. This should be this and all. That is very, very depleting. So, if you argue with the reality as it is, that's a problem. If you are suppressing natural emotions because you want to resist them, that's not good. And then you want to force outcomes through willpower alone, lots of it doesn't happen. You got to work with the flow of life, right? And then you will be complaining a lot and negativity. That is surely so. What we do is by observing these five areas of things, we identify the problem. I'm exhausted and have no energy. Yeah. Then we apply the right solution, not the wrong solution. So I need to add more energy is a wrong solution from external sources. And then outward solutions may give us temporary relief. Coffee, supplements, quick fix, all those. They help for a moment, but then you go back. And then we return to the depletion again. The exertion comes back, often worse than before. That's what I'm seeing with a lot of people. Okay. So we try to add energy instead of sealing the leaks. So identify the leaks in your daily routine from morning till mid afternoon till night or mid morning. Then seal them. By being aware of them, you can do that. See, the path forward is not about acquiring more energy, but is about becoming aware of how we are unconsciously spending the energy we already have. Then making conscious choices to conserve and reduce and redirect the vital force toward what truly matters. Okay, so the statement is awareness does not consume energy, it restores it. Okay, not your mental chatter thinking. So it may seem like looks like counterintuitive. No, we are accustomed to thinking that everything we can do costs energy. But awareness itself, pure, non judgmental attention to what is, that is awareness I'm talking about, pure, non judgmental attention to what is, actually has the opposite effect. When we become aware, something remarkable happens. The frantic mental activity, that is the one which quiets down. The body begins to release the held tension, right? And the breath naturally deepens. The nervous system shifts from the sympathetic tone of fight or flight syndrome to more relaxed state of rest and digest system of parasympathetic nervous system. So, what does this awareness, that pure non-judgmental attention, what does it do? It makes your breath deepen, and then your nervous system softens, and your mind rests. That's the important thing. And then your energy returns. So, what I am recommending is a shift in living. If you agree, if you see this happening with you, uh, what we do is we begin to live with more awareness, everything changes. I mean, everything changes. Not through force or effort, but through a natural reorientation. It's a natural reorientation toward what supports life. Okay? This isn't about perfection or following rigid rules. It's about gentle, sustained attention to how we meet each moment, each challenge in life, right? So we have less resistance. See, if you fight the reality, then you drain energy. But accepting what is, not succumbing to it, but accepting you're looking at it, that initiates skillful response which doesn't cost you energy, right? And then being here and now, that's always talk about, rather than lost in mental time travel, that conserves a tremendous amount of energy. I don't go and look in the past or in the front, then what it is, all my energy for the what is in front of me, here and now. And then there is an effortless action, natural vitality, and authentic joy. So this shift from constant thinking to awareness is very, very valuable for you in daily life. So this shift doesn't happen overnight, but it doesn't require dramatic life changes. Small moments. It begins with the small moments of awareness throughout your day. Notice your breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Taste your food. Listen fully when someone speaks. Each moment of presence seals another small leak. That is what you can do. Each moment of presence. Over time, these small shifts accumulate into a fundamentally different way of being. Okay? One really characterized by greater ease, vitality, and engagement with the life. You are easy in life, you are vital in your life, and your engagement with life is very easy. This energy was always there. We simply learned to stop unconsciously draining it. That is the change. And instead of allowing it to serve our highest purpose, we conserve it, but we let it serve our highest purpose. Okay? So, what I'm inviting for you guys is when your unconsciousness ends, being unaware, or that energy, it begins to serve your life. Okay, when this unconsciousness of whatever we are doing out of no thinking, no, I think not really being in the moment, right? So I'm going to give you a list of starting points for practice and what to remember. Okay? Number one, take 3 conscious breaths before meals. Do you ever do that? And then number two, if you can be attentive about one energy leak each day and be non judgmental about it. That's the number two. Number three is if you are going to check your phone, pause and take deep breaths, right? Because you are really being driven by the data currency coming from the phone, and you don't really have a conscious way of doing that. That's why anytime you check the phone, you have to take a deep breath and then do it. Simple things I'm telling you. Okay? Conscious breaths before meals, energy leak without judgment, one of them at least, and then pause before you check the phone. And then when you're standing or walking or sitting down, feel your feet on the ground, especially while you're walking. And then that means you bring it down to your groundness and that you're grounded in that. Then, if you're talking to somebody and they are speaking, listen fully without interrupting. And then, if your body indicates, I'm tired, I cannot do much, just don't push through. Go and take rest. So, what is that you want to remember? This is not about perfection. Some days you will be more aware, some days you will be less aware. That's okay. That's completely natural. What matters is the gentle, sustained intention to notice, to bring consciousness to the unconscious patterns that are draining your energy. This is the essence of this whole talk. Bringing consciousness, being conscious about the unconscious patterns that is draining you. Over time, this awareness becomes your greatest ally, guiding you. I was asked by many of my friends, how is that you have so much energy at the end of the day? Today I had a retreat for early in the morning, 3 hours. Then I was committed to so much of my work in the afternoon. And because it happened to be my birthday, so people were sending a lot of wishes, and I was responding to all of them, and phone calls and all. And now I'm doing 2 rooms consecutively with you. Okay, but I'm not tired. I kind of really ever renewing energy, right? And bring consciousness to the unconscious patterns. And over time, it's not self-absorption, self-action. No, it is about being with it in the present moment. Over time, this becomes your greatest ally. It guides you toward choices that conserve and restore your natural vitality. Okay? So, you have any questions, any comments? You guys can come up and tell me what you like about this, what you don't like about this. Do you do any particular things to conserve your energy? Don't tell me all the external things. I eat this food that gives me more energy. Don't tell me that. Okay? But tell me what you do consciously within yourself, with your patterns of thinking and emotions. Nobody has any contributions or no comments? So I hope you are all uh, not drained and energized, and then you are really being in the present moment and you are not having these unconscious mental patterns. If that's the case, wonderful. That's what we wish you do. Okay. But if you don't have that, then consider these minor daily important changes. Okay. Hi, Laura.
Hi. Um, I'm glad to hear that you're not tired and definitely intrigued. And you're always saying you're blissful.
Yeah.
And
that is the actual state I'm describing. It's not like
your
yeah.
secrets, that's why I'm listening in.
Yeah.
Because, of course, I want to not be tired. And, of course, I want to be blissful. Um, Feels like I'd be a superhuman, but, well, that's better than feeling like underhuman.
Yeah, yeah.
When you're tired,
Yeah.
I just made that up, but definitely wanted to say hi and thank you for sharing your thoughts and um, I'm liking what you just said that if your body is tired, don't push it. Take some rest because rest is my word of the year and my goal that I want to work on. Divided in several tiny goals, tiny habits.
Yeah.
One of the time I'll work on it, but I know it's the most important is to do less than I used to and commit less than I used to. As I've been noticing over time, it's easy for me to underestimate the amount of time, energy, and anything else that it takes to complete the things that I commit to.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to reflect on my experiences and adjust, and that's where I want to start.
Yeah.
So it was pretty nice this weekend that I gave myself rest, and last weekend on Saturday, I didn't. I just the first half of the day, I just chose to do nothing, and that's exactly what I did, and it was so nice.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, and
See,
then
when I rest,
I was ready for a little run and stuff. So
yeah,
it's pretty neat when I can give myself permission to rest without feeling guilty and things like that, and not worrying about whatever still needs to be.
Yeah. When I rest my mind also. You see, there is a pattern called yoga nidra, where all the mental patterns are let it come and go. Don't hold on to them. Don't make them persevere, or become like a loop thinking. That seems to help a lot to conserve a lot of energy. That energy leak I don't have. The other thing is, I do what's called kumbhaka in the breathing. That is about taking a deep breath and holding it for a few seconds. In the beginning, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, but you can extend it to 30 seconds and go all the way to 1 minute, 1.5 minutes. Advanced practitioners do like that. But even if you do 10 seconds holding and then breathing out, that is a good one to really help ourselves with energy. That's the important thing that you want. Mental rest also. Don't allow this pattern of thinking go on. Okay? So that's important. So small things make a big change if you do that. Right? So, hi, Paula.
I'm Dr. Rob. You know what? I always like to add some kind of real physical exercise. Okay. If it's speed walking or just doing something in place, or walking back and forth.
Yeah.
When I to feel a drag in my energy, I always like to just move, get up and get active.
Do you allow yourself to think something else while you're walking?
Yeah.
No, don't think. Don't think like that, Paula. Do complete attention
Talk
while
too
walking.
much.
Yeah. No. Do complete attention to the walking. Feel the feet one after one going on, and that makes a lot of difference. See, you are walking fine. You want to get energy fine, but then walk with attention.
Okay, okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm a list maker. I make a lot of lists,
Yeah.
and I guess I don't get as tired because I know I'm trying to accomplish at least 10 of the 20 things that I put on my list every day.
Yeah. One by one. Don't do so many things together. One by one, all the time.
Okay. Okay.
And
But when
complete
I go to
attention.
bed, I am knocked out.
Yeah.
I go to sleep. I don't have any sleep issues.
Yeah. But then that physical tired sleep is something different. This energy leaking lack of sleep is something different.
Oh, okay.
Say,
Okay.
body
But
wants to
yeah,
rest and then you allow it to go. But if you also allow your thinking not to go beyond what spot it was needed, you are doing some work, right? You use your mind and thought. But then cultivate the habit of eliminating all the thought remnants after the work is done.
Okay, okay, I will do that.
That's
And-
where
and
you
you know
become
what,
conscious.
I'm glad you talked about. Excuse me. I'm so glad that you talked about it's okay to rest.
Yes.
Because sometimes I think I can't be lazy. I need to do this.
Yeah.
I got to push myself. You know.
No. You have to rest because you don't want to push it through. That's where it is kind of you're fighting with what is happening within you as a body. You want to rest. Like, you talked about walking back also. That's what I do, Paul. After the afternoon meal, I walk what is called Shat Paul. Shat Paul means 100 feet. Shat means 100, Paul means feet. So I walk in the room 10 feet ahead and then don't turn back and walk back 10 feet. So 5 times like that, back and forth, it becomes 100.
Yeah.
Very effective because walking back activates our back muscles.
Okay. Yeah, and I just feel better when I'm moving.
Exactly.
So, that's kind of a way I kind of rest, like you said.
Yes.
While you're actually doing stuff.
Yeah. You listen to the movement. The body is asking you to rest. Do that without any big deal.
Okay. Don't fight it. Just
don't
do
fight
it. Huh?
Don't fight the life. Whatever it tells you, if you are receptive to it, then you don't have energy leak, energy burning, and all that.
Okay, I got it. Well, thank you so much for that.
Sure, Paul.
That was just good to hear that it's okay to actually stop and rest.
Stop and rest. Even the mental also. If you say, is this happening here and now for me to worry or think about it, or is it already happened? I'm bringing it into the present moment. That you don't want to do. That is unconsciously thinking all the things. You want to be consciously thinking and using the instrument of thought and finishing of the work, end it. Don't cling to it to take you to your sleep or not.
Okay, thank you so much. That's such a good advice. Thank you for that.
The common sense correct, but we don't do it. That's the problem.
I know you have to fight to do it sometimes. Just stop.
You have to
sometimes I'll just
retrain yourself because we learned wrongly. We tend to retrain ourselves, and thereby we can really execute that what we want the behavior.
And be more productive that way. Yeah,
very much, very productive. Whatever I do, it will be quality because I'm not spending all my energy somewhere else, but on the task I'm doing.
Okay, so focusing. On
remember my sentence: attention to every action in a process of doing stuff.
Oh, okay. Well,
attention to every action. That's what you want to really do that. So if you can do, even my staff, everybody, I give them that. Whatever you do, pay complete attention to each task. Don't rush.
Dr. I just want to apologize. My battery died. I didn't notice it was so low. That's why
that's okay.
I got off so fast. So just wanted to say that. And I have a question about breakfast, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
If if somebody doesn't normally eat breakfast, um, what is your medical and otherwise wellness advice?
Yeah.
Is it important to eat breakfast? Does it matter? Does it not matter?
So it depends
Does
upon
it help?
what you
Does
are.
it not help with certain goals?
It depends upon
take?
what you are doing. For example, you have a diurnal cycle that you eat early dinner, right? And then you gave some time for this before this 2 hours before you unwinded and you went to bed, and then you got up in the morning and you have a bowel and bladder eliminated. Then naturally appetite is there, and also you have really loaded with protein and fiber in the morning. Then if you are working daytime, the energy will be very good. That's why standard instruction is have a very good breakfast. Okay, and then you carry something, a small sandwich or something for the lunch, and also have a light dinner. That's a sure way to not to gain weight, and also having the energy when we need to do it, right? When we need to work and we need the energy. That's why heavy meal in the morning with this natural cycle. But lot of night work, a lot of people go hungry and they do lots of practices. But you have to be sensitive to your own natural diurnal rhythm. So every 12 hours this changes. Circadian rhythm we call it. And that is a natural metabolic turn on points and turn off points. You be sensitive to that, and then you allow the nature work through you, you are better.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. It's a question
Have a
of
good evening.
yeah, it's a question of you are working and you need energy, then be loading the calories that are required for that.
And specifically for weight loss, for people who are trying to lose weight, is it generally better to eat breakfast or better than not, or
better to do the breakfast, because that is the time you can have a real good appetite. If it's the morning routine, you can increase that too. Usually ravenous appetite is needed for the food to digest, and also when you are chewing slowly, you are only filling some of the stomach, not all of them, because you are secreting a lot of saliva that goes and fills the stomach. So I recommend have all food groups in the morning, but eat slowly and enjoy the meal, and then go there. Don't have snacks in between. That is one of the biggest problem to really spoil our circadian rhythm. So leave it alone. Let there be. But there you want to see something, you have a taste in eating, or socially somebody offers something, they want you to share that. All those things complicate this.
Yes.
But once we are sensitive, once you are sensitive to circadian rhythm, things happen naturally.
Got you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm going to jump up, but if you are willing and able to share, what do you normally eat that's very healthy on
I eat
for breakfast?
mostly each meal, before the meal I eat a fruit, okay, or a fruit salad. Okay, that's how I eat first, and then a combination of whole grains, vegetables, and fruits are combined in the meal. Okay, and also I eat only when I'm hungry, and I eat sitting down and chewing and mindfully enjoying the savoring the food. I eat brown rice with curries, Indian curries made with spices, and also I eat yogurt, and I don't eat snacks in between. Maybe in the evening I may have a small, like she gave me small chocolate cake this evening with a cup of tea.
Sounds good. And my time is running now, so I'm going to say good night and thank you.
Okay.
And are you vegetarian?
Yeah.
Bye.
Pure vegetarian. Vegetarian has got a lot of protein if you only are attend to that. So animal food is genetically is not compatible with us, human beings. And actually, that is one of the problems we have we get used to the meat, and then we kind of disturb our genomic picture too. So it's not a good thing to eat animals unless you are in a mountain area where you have to eat the animals to survive. Otherwise, if you are in a civilized society, everything is available. I would go for the vegetarian diet. Okay. Probably I'll feel very guilty if I eat any any meat. I don't want to eat meat. I don't really miss anything because what I eat, the curries and the Indian cuisine or American cuisine and all that, they're very savory. They're very nice. I can eat very well, right? So I don't have to worry about that. My meal consumption is a very happy experience. I stop, I slowly enjoy the smell, color, appearance, and the taste of the food. And also, at the time, I want to be grateful that I got the food and somebody prepared it and somebody put a lot of effort. So I have a lot of people to thankful for, right? The one who raised the crop and the ones who made the rice and everything available for us in a digestible form, and the people who prepared the food and people who served us. So many people you have to thank for, right? So I remember that consciously, okay, not to show off anything, just uh, being appreciative and grateful of that, right? So anybody else, or we can hang up this way. Think I'm almost 50 minutes, okay, so I can stay for another few minutes. If you have anybody else, any comments or questions, last sentences, please. See, my retreat happened yesterday and today. The essence was I wanted them to assess themselves. I provided some material that they could. Janet was there from the new wife, and there's some of my friends from other places, Texas. There was a friend there, and then a couple of them from India, a couple of them from my family from India. So we talked about what are the things we should be looking at the modern way of living that is not serving us. Okay. And then how can we enhance our body and mind to meet the challenges of that and to be more enhanced to meet the challenges head on and take care of them better with our inner resilience cultivated. So I talked about several things we could do. And I even talked about 10 things you can do to be in the present, and how to not to age faster, and how to really be young and energetic in your energy and all that. Okay. So obviously we cannot cover everything in 6 hours time, but next time I'm going to do 2 full days, 4 sessions, each 3 hours. That way it will be 12 hours altogether. Then we can discuss a lot more, and obviously that's going to be very big commitment for people, but only people who are really interested, not to spend time their life with chronic diseases, not to spend with a lot of mental anguish, stress, and burnout, but really appreciate the human life and then get most out of it. Only those people who are interested will come. This is not about instant gratification. This is not about getting popular with this. This is about honestly, earnestly examining your own life. Don't have to discuss or reveal anything, but just get the insights or wisdom, from the ancients and from the modern science, and apply them in your life in a way that you feel that is working for you. Okay. And those people who have come, I told them to follow up with me if any uh, problems while they're trying to apply this. So I told them to sit down and write down all the insights that I have, and then apply them. As they apply, they have encountered some problems, they can DM me. So next, um, the longer retreat, this is a retreat from your regular daily life and going into the awakened conscious life, understanding that, and then bringing that into your life. Thereby, you can cut down a lot of illnesses in the independent of birth, and also you can cultivate habits that will help you to be well for a long time, and also joyous existence, not miserable existence for a long time on the medications. I kind of feel that I don't have any medications on board and I have plenty of energy. I don't have any aches and pains or like that. I may have some weaknesses and all of that. I work on them, right, daily. So that becomes much easier. Okay. So even the problems come, I am giving complete attention to them, right? So that's what I'm teaching everybody to be well, to be well for a long time, and to have a meaningful, purposeful life, and really be blissful and joyful, which is possible for us. When you don't have all this nonsense in your head, you are naturally, what they call it, ananda. That is a state of non causal joy. There is no cause for the joy, no cause for the bliss, no cause for the happiness. It is an unalloyed happiness that is like a fragrance come through you when you really flower inside. Don't tell me things. Display them through your behavior, to your approach to life, to your helping of society and all that. Okay. Thank you. And I will see you again next time. Bye bye.